Okay, so I'm joined by Bruno Coelho from Team Infinity. Bruno, welcome to ETS round number 3 here in Luxembourg on Thursday. Before we talk about this event, let's go a little bit back to the Euros in Utrecht. After qualifying, you have been TQ, but in the end, it was not going to your plans to win the title. How was the whole weekend for you there? Because you showed a great pace with the team.
Yeah, I mean, the weekend there was pretty positive until the finals. Our car was for sure one of the fastest, and we were able to TQ. Even though I had a little bit bad luck on the second qualifier when I was leading and I exploded the tire, I still was able to manage the TQ at the end. But yeah, and then in the finals it was a bit unlucky. Again, on the first final I traction rolled in one of the corners, the sweepers that had like a small bump there, and I got the bump in the right moment, and then I flipped. And then on the second one I got like a small stone in the center pulley that kind of damaged all my, like half of the belt got damaged. Okay. So on the first lap when I braked, like the car I kind of spin out. And for me it was strange. I was like, okay, maybe I forced too much, you know. Then I continue, and then I felt like the car was strange. Then when we come in, we had like a stone into the pulley, and it was like grabbed like half of the pulley, half of the belt. So yeah, then you know you have no result. I had a fourth and then a nothing, and then I won the last final with a pretty good pace, but it changed nothing at the end, and the result was not what we expected. Again, we showed a very good pace during the week. The car was working really good, but you know if you don't do a result, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but was also positive to see for you as a team. I think you had the most cars in the A-main. 4 guys with Yillis, with Alessio, and also Victor. They all had been in the final. This must also give you kind of a good boost as a team.
Yeah, for sure. This was one of the positive things from the weekend, is that that all cars were working pretty good, and I think the most positive thing is that the cars have like basically no options. So it's like a car from the box, out of the box, and this is for sure a very positive thing for us. And also now we start to receive the customers telling and like they driving because the car is on the market. The feedback from the customers it has been very positive. So this is also a thing that kind of bring us like more motivation to keep working. And yeah, it was for sure very good.
Yeah, as you said, it's always a nice feeling when you start to sell the car, the first car from a brand or a new car. But then it's also kind of you need to wait some weeks to get the feedback from the customers, and you hope that everybody's be happy.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a kind of you are waiting for it because you work for so long on the car. You already know the positive things, the things that you need to keep working, because there are always things that we need to keep developing. And we were waiting for the feedback of the customer. That at the end of the day is one of the most important feedbacks, and is probably the most important for the companies to still running and still moving the markets. And yeah, even in Portugal, like we have a big mass of like a big group of people driving, and they're like in Monsanto in stock class they beat the record. The lap record, which is very positive because he's not a super top driver, he's like a normal drivers. They are beating their own records. So this for us kind of brings us a lot of motivation to keep working and keep doing good things.
Okay, so let's step away a little bit from touring car, because last week you also attended the 1.8 E-buggy Worlds in Barcelos, in your home country, in Portugal. Difficult weekend also for you. In the end, you made the main, you finished 8th overall, but it was kind of a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty tough, I believe, for many drivers, and I was one of them suffering a little bit from that. The track had a lot of traction. Yeah, it was amazing, and it had a lot of traction, which we could never really figure out a good setup to keep the car on the wheels. The car was always traction rolling a lot, so I could not really force the way I wanted. And then on the qualifiers, probably I forced a little bit too much, and then I was doing many mistakes. Then on the last qualifier, when I was going to do a 3rd overall, I got kicked out by a guy that didn't open for me, and then it was a big mess there. But again, it doesn't matter because I should have done already the results in the last qualifier. So I should not need the last qualifier to be in the A-main. So the main problem was not that. And then I was in the last chance. Last chance run was pretty good. And then the finals, I finished 2 times 6, which was good, starting from 13 on the final. I finished 2 times 6, but then with the mix of a lot of people finishing on the top and on the back, I end up finishing 8. I mean, it was a positive result, not for sure the one I wanted, but sometimes you need to accept it and work harder for the next one.
What do you think in general about this class, the 1.8 E-buggy? Because it looks like it's getting a little bit more popular and big now, especially when you compare to Nitro.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure getting bigger and bigger, and because it's easier than Nitro. You just need electronic batteries, and then you can drive all day. You don't need a mechanic. Even for the races is much easier. But I mean, I think for the off-road, the only in my point of view, the only negative thing at the moment are the tires. Not having control tires, it's a big mess for the customers, also for the top drivers. It's a big mess for us to all the time. It's all about the tires, all about if you bring a harder compound, softer compound, which kind of tire, then the truck kind of get dusty, so now it's a different tire, but which compound, is a big mess. And I think having it the same for all, you start really to work on the car and you start to develop more the setup, more, around the car and not only about the tires.
Okay, but that's an interesting point. So maybe with kind of more controlled tires, it would have even better. Yeah. Okay, now we're here for the third round of the ETS in Luxembourg. The season so far, you finished, I think, 7th in Apeldoorn, 4th in Eigen, so you always showed a great pace. Some things always happened to not allow you to make it onto the podium. What do you expect from yourself this weekend here? Because if you transfer the pace from Utrecht to this track also maybe, then you can fight for the win again.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the moment we just need to make solid runs. Is what is we are missing. We are missing solid runs from many different occasions, or from my mistake, or from something that we have in the car, or from something that is happening on the truck. From many different reasons, we have been unlucky this year. That is something that is not normal from us to be so many times DNF'd on the runs. So I just think we need a solid runs to see where actually we are. Because at the moment, just to say, come here and just say I'm the fastest on the truck, it doesn't matter if I'm finished last, So I just think we need a solid run, finishing all the runs, finishing all the qualifiers and all the finals, and then we see where we are actually, and not just pretending if this not happened, if that not happened. I think this is the most important now.
Okay, so qualifying will be super important here because the track is super big and it sometimes has some fast sections. But I also think that overtaking in the finals is also not so easy, especially here in the Laguna Secas section.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure not easy. It's possible for sure, because I think my best overtake ever was made here. I think to Ronald, I don't believe, in one of the ETSs. So I mean, it's possible for sure, but as you said, it's very difficult. The cars are super fast at the moment. It's very difficult to kind of prepare for an overtake. It's about if the guy in the front does a small mistake, then you need to take action, but that action has like very few tenths to happen. So the class is super fast at the moment. The tires have a lot of traction. The cars generate a lot of traction, also with the aerodynamic. So it's happening everything so fast that sometimes you don't even have the time to think about overtaking. Just keep the car on the track.
Okay, so thank you for the moment, for your opinions. Bruno Coelho, who will be in contention here for a top result for Team Infinity at ETS round number 3 in Luxembourg.